And we are live again.
What's up?
Live.
Happy Friday, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Friday before, this is the precursor to Black Friday. Welcome to another episode of Access Omaha, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Of course, your fantastic hosts that we know you have missed. Here to bring you some good info and hopefully get you excited about the Thanksgiving season.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Turkey.
Turkey. Gobble.
Yep. That wasn't very good.
That was terrible. There you go.
You know, my kids always ask me to make that noise when we're like driving and we see turkey, because there was one like this last summer or spring. I was driving with the windows down and we saw turkey and I started making that noise and they all like stopped and looked like, what is that? What's that noise? And so now they always ask me whenever they see turkey, so I get kind of tired of doing that whole thing. But anyways.
He's good at it though because of the repetition.
True. I mean, if you need me to go out there and turkey hunt with you, I can just do that thing and it'll bring them all out of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, for those of you that are turkey hunters. So today, we're bringing to you some good stuff. Obviously, we're going to share some things here with you guys to get to know us a little bit better. But we thought, why not do an AMA?
Yes.
And for those of you who don't know, Levi's going to tell you.
Ask me anything. Well, we should narrow that down a little bit. It is an AMA, but what are we covering in the AMA?
Ask me anything as it relates to Thanksgiving. So you can get to know us by asking us anything. Comment, on there. We'll read it. And we'll basically answer those questions as it relates to Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So Cass actually was asking if she could ask some questions, which we said yes. But I'm going to ask my first question to Levi.
Okay.
So what is your favorite memory of Thanksgiving?
Oh, that's good, man, because I have a lot of good ones, actually. So shout out, this is the one I'm going to say though. I got a bunch of good ones, but this is the one I'm going to say. So shout out to my homie friend group. Y'all know who you are. When I lived out in San Diego.
Is this like a Friendsgiving story?
This is kind of. Okay. So when I lived in San Diego many moons ago, a bunch of my really good friends road tripped all the way out from Nebraska to come out and stay with me and another buddy of mine, and it was just an awesome, epic adventure. They came out, and a big group of them, Luke Sutherland, John Tylan, Justin Husk, Dan Cornell, all you guys, you know who you are. It was an awesome time. They came out, stayed a while. We did Thanksgiving in San Diego. I got to go hang out down at the beach, do all that stuff, and we always, I think, reminisce this time of year when I'm around those guys about that trip and how cool it was. And man, that was like 12 years ago, maybe now. Awesome.
Can I back up on that for a second?
Yeah.
Did you say road trip to San Diego?
They road trip from here, exactly.
Okay, you guys, if you guys are watching, you guys are a bunch of idiots to drive to California. Because that had to have been like 20-some hours road trip.
Yeah, it's pretty close to 30 hours, I want to say. It's straight drive time, so you're if you're doing all the way through, like, it's a jaunt for sure.
Ain't no way I'm driving in a car. Like, here's my thing that I always tell my wife when she makes, like, she gets these crazy ideas sometimes, where she's like for example, this year she goes, we should like just get a house, like Airbnb it for like Christmas in Florida, and we should drive. And I'm like,
well, I wouldn't drive.
Okay, hold up. Yeah. Like, I like the idea except for the fact that you said drive. Like, do you realize we have a 7'5", and newborn? Like, we would be driving to Florida. So here's with anything, I don't care if you have kids or not, I'm like, I ain't driving any further than like what it would take me to get to Denver, which is like 8 hours.
Exactly.
Anything over that, put me on an airplane.
Even Denver though, because it's so close, you can get a flight for like $100 one way. It's like, come on, no brainer. You're a 1 hour flight, an hour and a half travel time at most.
Yeah, so there ain't no way I'd be like road tripping to California. You guys are crazy. But I bet it was a fun road trip. It was awesome. A bunch of guys driving to, I can't even imagine what that was like. But yeah. So now I guess I get to retort. Now I'm wondering, do I hit you back with the same question or do I go somewhere else?
You can switch it up.
I do switch it up.
So, okay, so this one isn't necessarily about a specific experience, but I'm very interested to hear what your perspective on this because it's widely debated this time of year.
Uh-oh.
And I want to almost quote The Office here. Well, basically, Ryan, there's two schools of thought. Are you of the mindset that people have to wait to put up their Christmas decorations until after Thanksgiving? Ooh. Or are you like, hey, whenever you feel you're fancy, put them up? Or are you like, no, after Thanksgiving, that's the only time that you can do it. Don't put them up before. What's your thought?
So, I have to clarify, first of all, before I even answer this, we already have our tree.
Oh!
So that's an answer to your question. But I will say this. Prior to this year, it kind of has been like we're going to wait till after Thanksgiving because one reason. Mm-hmm. We were getting a real tree.
Oh.
This year, we decided, hey, forget the real tree.
Yeah.
As fun as that is, it's a mess to clean up and it was a hassle and then it's just, So we decided, hey, Hobby Lobby is having 50% off sale on Christmas trees.
That's big.
And so we went and got our tree and we put it up last weekend. So that answers your question, but I am now under the impression that if they're going to start playing Christmas music after Halloween,
this is what I'm talking about.
Then I'm putting my tree up.
Yep.
I'm gonna celebrate Christmas for 2 months. I don't care what anybody says, because you know what it does. Mm-hmm. It puts you in a great mood.
That's the thing,
right?
So I've been saying that for years. Christmas and Thanksgiving, hands down, is my favorite season and time of the year. I love the holiday season. Anybody that knows me, I get super giddy, and I just love it. And I cannot, it literally, November 1st can't come soon enough because I'm like, let's get the stuff out. If I wait until after Thanksgiving, I feel like I don't get enough time.
Bro, amen to that.
You get like 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't work.
Nope, does not work. So I'm with you. I've enjoyed this time. Like, it was fun this year. We have a ton of trees now, but one of the trees we put like in the kids' playroom. Yeah. So we had them get all of their kids' toys out, and we just basically put the tree up in there.
So let's be honest, that's really why you like that tree.
Yes.
So you didn't say, hey, clean up all your stuff.
I looked at my wife when it happened, and I said, this is the cleanest this room's been since we moved in. But kind of a cool thing about it is that tree is specifically designed for them. So ever since they've been born, Vanessa has done this really cool thing with them. Is she takes them to Hallmark and they pick out their Christmas ornament
that's cool.
for that year. So obviously when they're like 1 and 2, they don't really know what's going on. But now it's kind of fun because they look forward to like going with mom to go pick out this Christmas ornament, and then they put it on the tree, and then the next year, they're looking back at like, oh, remember when we bought this one last year? And it's like a fun memory, right? This year was epic though, because Drew, he's my 2-year-old, and he loves to like literally sit on my lap and stand and like drive the riding lawnmower, the John Deere mower that we have. And they had a John Deere riding lawnmower. And so Vanessa was like, well, we're definitely buying that for Drew, so you can always remember like those times with Drew on the riding lawnmower. And I was like, that's right. That's right. Me and Drew will have that memory forever. But just doing things like that, I think, is kind of fun. So it's fun watching them. I put the tree up, and then they decorated it all themselves. That's awesome. So it was kind of fun.
You like her go wild.
Yeah, you put on like Little Drummer Boy, and you like get them all excited. And then we decorated kind of like the main family tree that we got from Hobby Lobby. Shout out Hobby Lobby. You guys are awesome. 50% off.
Wow, that's big stuff.
So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
That did, totally.
Cass, what question did you have? Oh, clearing the throat.
What is the weirdest food item you've ever eaten for Thanksgiving?
Ooh, who's that going to?
Oh, can I do both?
Yeah, I suppose. You go first.
Okay, all right. Gosh, that's actually kind of tough. It's hard to think about because, there's always like that aunt or uncle or second cousin who brings that dish that you're like, ooh, I don't know if I want to try that or not, But typically, I don't know. That's a tough one. I think I'm always a little hesitant with like real stuffing with the giblets and the whole deal. I mean, I've had some people make it really good, and then others I'm just like, oh, this is so funky. So that's definitely one, but when it comes to weird dishes, I don't know that I've really had anything outside of the norm, to be honest.
So I got a story.
Okay.
And I'm an only child, so you'd think this would have came from like a sibling trying to like pick on me.
Yeah.
But I think it was my uncle at the time. I'm probably in like middle school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Hey, Brian, you gotta come try this. It's like, it tastes the best when you do it." And he's like, "You get some beets or some cranberries, you know, or whatever." And he's like, "You take a big bite of that, and then you take a drink of ice cold milk." And I was like, "What? That sounds horrible."
Is it beets or cranberries?
Beets. I think it was like beets, like
Okay.
the red circular things that
That's
are on
cranberry
like,
sauce.
cranberry. No, like not sauce. They're like literally cut up. Like, you know, they're like circular, like this big. Somebody comment below and tell me what I'm
It's
talking
gotta
about.
maybe
They're both-
it's
I've
beet.
seen them both
I'm
ways.
pretty sure, I don't remember. Anyways, it's the red stuff that I never eat at Thanksgiving anymore because I basically put this in my mouth and then I took a swig of milk. And it's like the worst concoction you can ever have. I can't even explain the taste. So if you want to do a prank on someone, that would be one.
So he
that you
was
can do at
messing with
Thanksgiving.
you?
He was
or
messing with me.
Okay.
No, he was messing with me. And they all just sat there and laughed at me. And I have not even touched that stuff since then because I'm like, just the memory and it's one of those things where like you literally get the taste back in your mouth when you think about
And
it.
you're like, oh.
Yeah. It gives me the gag reflex. So that is probably the worst thing that I have had at a Thanksgiving meal.
Good question, Cass.
I like that.
I have one that I want to hear that
All
I'm
right.
kind of curious of. And actually I might hit you with this too, Cass, in a sec.
Okay.
All right, so my question is related to what you're eating on Thanksgiving and has to do with what is your favorite or preferred dessert when it comes to Thanksgiving? What's the
Wow.
thing that you're like, is it the stereotypical pumpkin pie or is there something else that you're like,
So if anybody knows anything about me, I'm not a big dessert guy.
Mhm.
Like if we're defining dessert like pies and that kind of stuff, like I'm not a big pie guy. Like when it comes to birthdays, I don't really care about cake and that kind of stuff. Like my sweet spot would probably be like my wife when she makes like chocolate chip cookies or like brownies.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, like that's like dessert, but like other than that, I don't really have like a sweet tooth when
Okay.
it comes to stuff. So, but I will say this, it's not the pumpkin pie for me, but it's Costco. Shout out Costco.
Oof.
You make an amazing apple pie.
Oh.
So they're like these huge pies.
I've seen
for
them.
like $8
Yeah.
that you can get at Costco. And like I said, I'm not a big pie guy or whatever, but you put that in the microwave and you put a little scoop of vanilla ice cream on there.
Oh.
I'll tell you what, it will change the way you think of dessert.
Cass-
It is amazing.
Cass is back here shaking her head, yes, that she agrees.
Mhm.
Okay, good stuff.
Although, I will say this wasn't necessarily at Thanksgiving, but if it were at Thanksgiving, or if you guys want some new ideas, I'm probably gonna butcher this, but like you and Isaac make this Palouse.
What is it?
Pazuki.
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 Yes, the
So
pizza
it's like
cookies. The
Yes.
pizza cookie.
the pizza cookie.
Uh-huh.
I know it
They're
sounds
amazing.
weird,
They're amazing.
but you literally like half bake it right in the
Mhm.
oven, like you're making chocolate chip cookies
One
or
whole-
whatever.
one whole
One
cookie.
whole pan of like
Yeah.
cookie dough, right? You half bake it, and then you take it out, and then you put vanilla ice cream on it.
They're
And
bomb.
it is
Yeah, they're bomb.
bomb.
And if you use like cast iron skillet, you get the crispy edges and then super soft in the middle.
Yep.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure the Pilgrims didn't do that, but we can change that up a little bit.
Oh, that's pretty good. How about anybody watching? Ask us anything in relation to Thanksgiving. Let us know if you have any questions or if you're interested to know any of our traditions or anything like that. We'll keep an eye on the comments here to see if anybody asks anything.
So I want to know what
yeah.
Cass's favorite dessert
Yeah.
is.
The homemade whipped cream.
Homemade
That?
whipped
Are you
cream?
serious?
If you
You
put
should-
it,
Okay.
yeah, it doesn't matter, store-bought pie, homemade pie, if it's got homemade whipped cream on it with vanilla, that's how I make it. You add a lot of
Okay.
extra vanilla extract.
Fair.
I'll eat any dessert with that on top.
Homemade whipped cream.
It is awesome, I will say.
I don't
'Cause-
know if I've ever had homemade
Oh,
whipped
it's so
cream.
good.
What?
I like the homemade better too because I'm not super big into sugary sweets, and you can just kind of hit it with as much sugar or as
Mhm.
little as you like, and then yeah, like you said, gang up. I like throw a little bit of nutmeg in there, you know, a little pumpkin
Oh,
spice,
Oh.
get a little extra zing. That's what I'm talking about.
Dude, that's like another like thing I don't touch.
Next level. What?
Nutmeg.
Nutmeg?
Or like
What?
little nutmeg, or what's the other stuff that people drink around Christmas time?
Eggnog.
Oh,
Jeez.
horrible.
God, are you
Horrible.
kidding me? I'm gonna try to make my own this year.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, stay away from that.
Interesting. All right. What else?
Well, I mean, since we both answered that question, I think it's only fair that you answer that question. Like,
What's my favorite?
your favorite dessert?
I mean, this is easy. It's pumpkin pie for sure.
Wow. Wow. You're like a simple guy.
I am. I'm like very meat and potatoes, like eggs, bacon, and toast.
Yep.
But I will say though, I love me some sweet potato pie. Probably better than pumpkin pie. Do I dare say? Probably. Sweet potato pie, fire.
Wow.
Especially if it's made really well. But pumpkin pie is absolutely hands down, whether we're Thanksgiving, Christmas, or any other day of the year, that's one of my favorite desserts.
So, so I got a question, and this is debatable too, because this kind of goes into like Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
But do you have turkey on Thanksgiving and then ham on Christmas?
Oh.
Or do you have both?
Both. That's a great question. I am not of any mindset on which one should be which, but typically because, having a spouse, juggling different families and things like that, usually we're getting one of each on each holiday. I'm not a huge fan of turkey, to be honest. It's very rare that you can get somebody who will do it right. Smoked turkey, fried turkey,
yes.
in my experience, tend to be the best, and I always go for the dark meat because it is a little bit juicier. But ham, I'll take ham, especially, I've had a deep fried ham before. Oh man, is that next level?
Now, you said smoked turkey. Now,
Yeah.
does anybody know, is it possible to like smoke ham?
Oh yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I don't think
You
I've
could
ever
smoke
had
a ham.
like a smoked ham
You
before.
could smoke a ham, and I think you can actually get the store-bought like pre-smoked ham. I don't know how good that's gonna be, but if
I mean, like literally, like, is
buy
there
it.
anybody out there? You better comment below because I want to know the answer to this. Is there anybody out there that actually smokes a ham? Like, it doesn't have to be around Thanksgiving time or whatever. I just
In
want to
general.
know.
In
I just
general.
want to know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
is it possible? Because I love ham.
Me too.
And
do.
I got a smoker, but I would have no clue how to smoke a ham. So if somebody's out there that does know how to smoke ham, shout out to you, first of all, because you're awesome.
Yep.
Two, I want to know how to do it. But Cass, what about you? Like, ham, turkey, both?
Growing up,
Oh, here we go.
we would make salmon.
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 Okay.
Well, I was an only child,
Yeah.
so my parents and I, we would
Wait,
grill.
you said you would make salmon?
Well, we would
You
grill
mean
it.
like you would buy it at the store?
We would buy it at the store and grill it.
Okay. Okay.
So that's my favorite Thanksgiving
Wow.
meat.
Very posh.
Shout
of
out
you.
mom and dad
Yeah.
with Cass. She likes salmon.
Very posh.
But I would say I'm not a huge turkey person either.
Yeah.
I would say ham.
Ham.
Yeah, I would agree.
I prefer it. I mean, next level tip again, if you've never done it, if you or your family or something is deep frying a turkey, let them get that turkey down, grab that ham, even if it's cooked already, one of the store-bought ones, dunk that baby in there for 10 minutes or so. Oh, so good.
I like this. I like this. We're all sharing like Thanksgiving tips.
Yeah.
This is so good.
Pro tips.
Dude, so I've been trying to teach my kids, like, the other day I'm driving in the car with them, and I was like, what are you guys thankful for?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we're having discussions or whatever. And my son right away, he's like, I'm thankful for food. I'm like, of course you are. Like, that's a good one though. Like, good job, bud. You know, I like that one. And then the other one pipes in like, I'm thankful for mom and dad. And I'm like, oh, you guys are so sweet. But then I was like, what else are you like thankful for? You know, and then it moves into Target. I'm thankful for Target. I'm like, why are you thankful for Target? Because that's where we get toys. And I'm like, okay, this isn't going as planned.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
we're thinking about toys and
Yeah.
things like that, but they're kids,
Uh-huh.
right? But let's talk about us for a little bit. Like, I would say this has been a good year.
Yeah.
I would say that, you know, I can't complain even the last like 6 years being in this industry and doing what we get to do on a daily basis. So I'm thankful for Levi and our friendship. And
Such a softie.
I know. And then I'm thankful for my team. I'm thankful for Cass. And And as I think about just this year, like, I'm thankful for obviously my family and my friends.
Yeah.
But I hate how we get into like the holidays, and a lot of times that's where we take time to like check out and be thankful for like the things going on. So I've been trying to like challenge myself to even like every day to just be like, what am I thankful for? Like, what am I grateful for? What am I glad that I have breath in my lungs, that I'm waking up every day and getting to do, right? Like, just giving that thanks. So what's something that you are thankful for as you think about this last year, outside of the obvious, right? Like our family and our friends and that kind of stuff, but something that you're thankful for.
Well, that's tough. I mean, because I want to just turn right around and say I'm super thankful for you, our friendship, of course, our business relationship, Cass, everybody on your team, everybody I work with. But moving that aside, family, friendships, relationships, those are, of course, very huge. And I think, to get back to your point, it's really easy to get through the year and forget about being thankful for those things, and like just get in the madness of work, life, business, all this stuff, and forget about, you know, oh man, that friend I haven't checked in with, or just telling them I've been thinking about them or whatever. That is really important. For sure, this year has been a fantastic year, and I am super thankful personally for a big step I think I took in my career, which was moving my mortgage business over to Core Bank, and just having an awesome year in relation to that move, taking care of a ton of clients, really getting to, you know, meet a lot of cool people and make a lot of cool connections that I don't think I would have had the opportunity to before. So that's definitely something that I'm really thankful for. And then, I think also this year I'm trying to be more conscious of relationships, friendships, and being more conscious and intentional in those things. So I want to say I'm thankful for that, and trying to be more intentional in stuff that I do.
That's good. Yeah, I think one thing that I've been thinking about lately is something that I think we take for granted a lot, and that's, you know, the platform that we have, right? Like we're in a position now where it's like people kind of recognize you for like what you do, and you get, you know, recognized for certain things or whatever. And I just posted this like on my Facebook page, but shout out to my broker, Vince Lisi. He just simply like sent me this card and told me thanks for taking the time out to like help others or whatever. And the more I thought about that, I'm like, man, I'm grateful and I'm thankful for the opportunity just to be on the platform that I get to be on, right? Like it's kind of cool and humbling all at the same time to be able to be like, man, like look at everything that we've accomplished and we've done and what's got us to this point in such a short amount of time.
Right.
But it's also one of those things where I want to be faithful in still doing the little things in order to be able to do the big things, right? And so staying humble in that, but also like grateful and thankful for just the opportunity to be able to speak into other people's lives, to help them to do those certain things, to help people grow. I think that's one thing that we do every day, like on a daily basis, you know, but we don't realize like the impact that it has on certain people. So I'm super like humbled and grateful and thankful for that, for sure.
Love that. That's so good.
Yeah.
Man, cool. No questions. Come on, guys, hit us with an AMA if you have a question related to Thanksgiving or the holidays. Ask us anything, hit us with it. We're happy to answer. I'm kind of watching, keep an eye on the comments here to see if anybody has any questions. Kyla, I see you watching. Come on. Got any questions for us?
Come on, Kyla.
Ryan Hines, shout out. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, we're getting excited, guys. We got some cool stuff. I want to see if Ryan wants to jump and switch gears, and maybe as we see if there's any comments that come in here on the chat box. But we got some really cool stuff coming, and he just laid some news on me today that I was like, what? That's super exciting. So hopefully he's willing to share that info with you guys and let you know what's going on and what's coming in the next year.
Yeah, so, well, I guess we will switch gears here and another thing to be thankful for, right? So for those of you that know me, knew my background. For those of you that don't know, was in youth ministry, college ministry, and a part of that was the big thing that I thrived on and loved doing was discipleship. And I loved getting the one-on-one time and pouring into someone and watching them kind of basically grow and go to the places that they wanted to go in their life and be a part of that and speak into that, right? And so what's cool about that is, as I made the transition into real estate, I was like, how do I take that into like this industry, you know? And so it started off by, you know, helping out, teaching some other classes. Now, obviously, like being a coach with Jared James, shout out there, and loving to do that and helping other agents become successful across the country. But now I'm getting the opportunity to really invest in my team and watching them basically going through the classes, going through the test to get their license, and then coming on board. And now I get the opportunity to kind of be that team leader again and that discipleship maker, whatever you want to call it, as far as, hey, how can I help you get to where you want to go in this industry? So I'm excited to announce that we've got quite a few people in the pipeline that are going to be coming onto our team in the future and in 2020.
Nice.
And so with that comes a lot of change, right? So
Yep.
a lot of change in your environment, your office space, things like that. We're just
office space.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. So I can't officially come out and say all the details, but we are moving office spaces at some point here this next year to a bigger office space.
Okay.
So as our team grows, obviously we grow out of the office that we're currently in, and we've got to go to a different one.
Okay.
Which is exciting and scary all at the same time, right? Like Cass is probably tired of having these conversations, and literally like touring office spaces like for the last, 6 months, like in our office, and kind of pinpointing like, okay, if that one opens up, we want that. If that one opens up, we want that. And like, how do we get our name in the hat? You know, like it's this huge thing. And so we're almost there. I can say we're almost there. We've narrowed it down, and we're excited to potentially make that move the first of the year.
Okay.
And which means
big things to come, gang.
We get to move our podcast into a separate, our own official podcast room too.
Which is awesome.
So we're excited about that. Yeah. Speaking of podcasts, I feel like I'm talking a lot, but I'm excited to share this stuff with you guys. I'm going to be starting my own podcast the first of the year. We're still going to do this podcast, so
of course.
Access Omaha is still going to be the big thing, and we've got big plans for that. I'm going to have you speak into that, like kind of the plans for the next year. But I'm going to stick to basically being more consistent with a new podcast with me, talking about real estate, right? So I really want to provide more value to my clientele, to my friends, to my family, to just my followers. So with that is going to come a lot of changes again, and a lot of time spent doing other things that I haven't typically been spending a lot of time in, but stuff that I'm excited about. So that'll be a big thing. So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff happening on the horizon here that I'm pretty excited for.
Irons in the fire.
Yeah.
Man, good stuff. Yeah, we're super excited. I'll touch on kind of the podcast like you're talking about, but I am very excited for the opportunity to potentially have another space to work in. Core Bank has been fantastic to us, and of course let us use one of the really big conference rooms that the bank doesn't use so much, to really just kind of have this as our dedicated space for the podcast. But it is a little bit difficult because once in a while this room does need to get used, and then we have to kind of shuffle around equipment and things like that, and it can be a bit of a challenge. So it's really, really exciting to be able to have the opportunity to have a dedicated space for the podcast, so we can kind of set up, have our marketing around, add a little bit more value to you guys and kind of a better environment. But also too, it'll really help out, I think, in propelling the podcast and us continuing to try to bring you guys really good content into next year, bring much better guests on, more frequent content. We're also doing some investing into just kind of refining the podcast. We touched on that a couple weeks ago. about having some professional editing and work done on the podcast too to make them a little bit more polished. And of course, just show a little bit of appreciation to you guys and our audience, and also add a little bit more value. So stay tuned for that, guys. A lot of cool stuff moving forward into 2020, and hopefully we'll be rolling out a lot of this as we move forward and end out the year here strong.
Another thing I want to touch on, because I don't feel like we do enough of this, is as we're doing Access Omaha, right, the whole purpose is to bring people on to share their stories about how they got to where they were in their business, in their life, different things that they're doing, right? And so with that, you guys might know someone that you'd be like, hey, they'd be a great person to come on the podcast. If that is the case, reach out to us.
Let us know.
Send us a personal message, text us, whatever.
Tag their name down below, whatever works.
Absolutely, because I think as we continue to grow this podcast, like that's the goal. We want to kind of speak less and interview these other people and have them share their stories as they relate to you guys. So when you're thinking about that, if there's someone that comes to mind or someone you know, or maybe you yourself is watching and you're like, man, I'd love to get on there and share my story, reach out to us. That's what this Access Omaha podcast was designed to do. We want to come alongside of you, and we want to help you grow your business as well. So
exactly. Cool. That's good stuff. Let us know, guys.
Yeah. And then is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, is that it? That was a lot of stuff.
No questions. Well, that's cool, guys. If anybody turns around and watches this later, or maybe you decide you want to comment in a non-live setting, shoot us a question or shoot us an AMA in regards to Thanksgiving, the holiday season. We'd be happy to come back, answer that question for you, and make sure that you stay engaged. If not, stick with us. Happy Thanksgiving. No podcast next week, of course. Thanksgiving falls on
Black Friday.
Yep, Black Friday. Oh, on Thursday, and then Black Friday, of course. Hopefully you guys got your lists already ready to go. But yeah, other than that.
Which, by the way, where's the best place to find a Black Friday list? Does anybody know?
Dude, TGI, oh my god.
Whoa, yeah, there?
TGIF Black Friday app. That's what I always use.
TGIF.
Newspaper, the newspaper.
I know, but you have to wait for the newspaper to come out.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I want to start now.
Exactly. I use the app. I mean, I just plot my course.
Boom. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Get your Black Friday shopping on. And if you guys, again, have anyone, let us know. Happy Thanksgiving. We are thankful
so much,
for all of you and for supporting us and watching us. And we look forward to what the future holds. 2020, right around the corner. Love you guys.
Peace.